last week. Last time I was asleep.
7 p.m., October 27th. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our youth report, Mike Conklin, please.
Good evening. Congratulations to everyone who participated in the fall sport. The season is ending for most, and winter sports will be starting soon. The varsity football team is heading to Kingston for the Section 9 playoffs this Friday. Please cheer them on. We had an assembly at the high school last week. It was the Hang Up and Drive presentation. Students on Thursday heard the story of J.C. Good and the dangers of texting and driving. Rachel's Challenge also happened at the high school last week. Thank you to everyone who coordinated this event and participated. The Farnham House haunting was a huge success this past weekend. Thank you to everyone who came out and supported them. The Port Jervis City School District is pleased to announce the winter schedule for the indoor walking trail at the high school ASK campus. It will open November 18th. October is National Bullying Prevention Month, so students at Port Jervis Middle School are spreading the message of anti-bullying. To show unity in the battle against bullying, the Random Acts of Kindness Club, or RAK, formerly known as the Bully Busters Club, is sponsoring Kindness Week. Each day, students read a story about a random act of kindness with the hope that it will inspire someone else to do something good. As an end to the study of life cycle of a pumpkin, the ASK PTA generously paid for the first grade students to have their very own pumpkin patch in their outdoor learning classroom. These pumpkins were purchased from the Field of Dreams pumpkin patch in Matamoros. Each PE also showed its unity in a creative way on Wednesday. Students were given an orange strip of paper, and each was asked to express what makes them unique, or to write about what they can do to make their school a safer place. The links were joined together to demonstrate the interaction between individuality, and connectivity. And finally, just a reminder that this Friday, 10:31, will be a half day. Dismissal will be at 10:30 for high school and middle school, and ASK and HPE will dismiss at 11:30. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Mr. Siegel, do we have a senior report?
No, we do not.
Okay, no better. Approval of the minutes of the last meeting. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Mr. Ritchie, a second by Mr. Cunningham. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One abstention? All carried.
Yeah. You know what that is?
Yeah, public comment.
Yeah.
Public hearing.
Yeah.
Right now we'll have public comment. There's a 5-minute limit. You speak on any subject you'd like. Please just state your name and what ward you live in. If you don't live in a ward, what town you live in. Anybody on any subject?
Hi, good evening. My name is Gail Shulman, and I live in West End. I'm here tonight on behalf of many seniors that reside here in Port Jervis. Many of these elderly people don't have income as it is. They don't have any income as is, and you people here at the Common Council want part of their income as well. You don't have enough money in your budget to fix many concerns of this issue. To me, that's very sad. We live on a fixed income currently, and have to watch how we spend our money. Many times I'd like to buy something, but I realize we don't have the money. I've had to go without many times. I cannot tell you countless times I had to just walk away from what I would have liked to have. You should need to do something. You should need to do something. I don't. Should I need to do something? I don't say to others, gee, I can't. I need this, and can I have some money or borrow it? I have to go with that. I'm currently behind on my mortgage with our bank. Doing part of I've had to help out my oldest son out. You people sit here tonight and pick and choose what's important and how we can start saving money in the event something does arise. The money will just be there, not tapping into other people's money. You really need to be able to find a better way of doing things in the near future. The bottom line is that you should have went to the public so we could get an opportunity to be able to vote on this subject. I believe that more thought should have went into this. I believe that you people saw the need and just voted for this. I believe that most of you people sit there and truly blind to the fact about how many people in your community are having trouble getting by. I feel very bad for the many of these elderly people that reside here as a result of how they were losing their money that they needed to eat or pay their rent or bills. Many people get help from our local food banks to make ends meet. Many people here reside have low incomes, and many people here reside don't have a big income levels. In closing, I'd like to know what you are thinking about voting this thing, and I believe that you are not clearly thinking at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Anyone else?
Hi, my name's George Patterson. I live in the town of Deer Park. Mayor, I'm hoping you can clarify some things for me here tonight. As you're aware, I applied for the building official position, filled out the application, met all the requirements on the application, paid to take a civil service test. I guess I did quite well on that test, finished in the top 3. I just don't understand how I can go through all that when everybody knew that the city charter stated that you had to be a resident of the city of Port Jervis to take this position.
Well, it was simple. And I don't know, can you talk about it? This was during an interview process. Mr. Siegel was there. Mr. Walagrowski, and we asked you if you'd be willing to move into the city.
Yes.
And you said you wouldn't.
I said I wouldn't. And I was told that that was not a deal breaker.
Right.
Okay.
But we found somebody that does live in the city.
Okay, but in reviewing the charter, I noticed this has been amended probably 4 times for different positions around the city. I think it's water superintendent, city court judge, deputy clerk treasurer. I had my interview, and after some time of not hearing anything, I emailed you, and you responded, checking references were taking longer than you anticipated.
Correct.
No one even checked my references.
I was checking references on the person we were hiring.
But, I mean, in my opinion, and I'm sure in yours, this is a pretty important position in the city, correct? And you would want to fill it with the highest qualified person you could. So when someone does well on a test, I would expect the same courtesy as everybody else to at least be fully investigated. Maybe I would have fit the criteria. Maybe an amendment could have been made. I feel that, honestly, I was not treated fairly, and I wasn't given a fair shake in this whole ordeal. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Lorraine Marquez, Third Ward. Okay, now, with the tax cap that we're under, and I understand that we can't raise taxes over a certain percentage. There seems to be an awful lot of confusion with this, with people that I've been speaking with, so I'm going to ask you if you could please put a statement in writing describing what the tax cap is, how the tax cap started, what the shared services are, that were shared services. I don't even know what they are myself. So I definitely do suggest that, just to kind of like level the playing field. I also agree with the lady that just spoke before. And it also takes me back to when Mahagamak Firehouse was buying their new hook and ladder truck. And the city council, from my recollection, had said that $1 million was a lot of money and it had to go up for public referendum. $38 million is a lot of money too. And it really is a shame that this was not given more time to think about, and that it didn't go up for public referendum. And also now with the city minutes, our minutes are basically an overview of what was discussed at the meetings. Where is the archive for the videos? I found that there is a YouTube channel, however, the YouTube channel is not up to date.
Right.
And
And that's me doing it voluntarily. We don't have to do that.
Well, it would be very, very helpful for that to be out there, so that there's another medium.
I'll tell you,
for
I'm the only one doing it, right? And I
I'm
don't
sure
have a lot
that
of
there'd be a lot of
time.
volunteers. I would volunteer to do it myself.
You should see the camera sits out there by itself on.
So, but these are just these are some recommendations that I'm making as a citizen. We need to have a larger, a lot more clearer communication coming from y'all, for all of us. And there are plenty of people, I know quite a few people who commute out of the area. They don't get home until 6:30 at night. They're taking care of either an elderly parent or somebody who is very, very sick at home. They have children. And not everybody has cable television to watch this. And many times too, when I've tried watching it streaming through, and I do have high-speed internet, it's very, very choppy and it's hard to see. There's a lot of freeze-ups. So it would be very, very helpful for that, so that people can see what is going on. And it's basically, the general attitude is like, it doesn't make any difference who goes to the meetings, what we say to our councilmen. They turn around and they do whatever they want to do. They don't listen to us. And that is basically a lot of the word that I'm hearing from a lot of people that I speak to. And also, it's, I'm just putting it out there for you. We're giving you a report card. Okay, thank you.
And I just want to say, I've made every effort to make as much communication as I possibly can for the city. Whether it be Facebook, whether it's our website, and our website's coming, the redesign is coming, a newsletter. We put the video on, which wasn't done, it was only put on Try 23. Now it's on the internet so people can stream it. When I get a chance to update it, I do. I try to make every effort to get the information.
No, I understand that, but especially too with these past couple of meetings that were involving the sewer fee and all, there seems to be a big, big, huge void there. And a lot of people are like, well, I wish that I knew what was being said. And there was a lot of information that went on that night, and I would like to go back for point of reference just to revisit that, to hear once again, so I can have better clarity. Because this is a huge, huge undertaking, and it's like the seniors have already done their fair share. I don't believe in dipping into their pocketbooks at all. Not at all.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Howard Cooperman. I reside in the 4th Ward. I was here a little over a month ago discussing the situation with the building, I believe at 2430 Front Street, which has a sign that was affixed to the glass windows by the acting building official at the time, that no occupancy or movement can be had. As a result of that building, my building, which is at 3440 Front Street next door, which is in perfect shape with no defect, was also issued the same type of signage that cannot be occupied or leased or rented. In terms, it doesn't say leased or rented, but cannot be occupied, which is the same thing, because of the defect of the building next door. When I was here over a month ago, Mr. Wologrowski, the councilman, put a motion out that we will wait 2 weeks to hear from a bank that had no ownership of the building. There was absolutely, in my view, a pipe dream that they would come up and repair or demolish that building. Nothing has been done. No one from the city has informed me. Now it's 2 months since August 22nd since that notice has been put on the buildings. I have yet to hear from one city official. The only contact I've had was the initiation of phone calls I made to the acting building official to see what's going on. So I do not know if the city has taken action to repair or demolish such building. If they have, that's great. I would like to know.
Okay, I can tell you. I believe it's tomorrow, correct? Tomorrow's your... Yeah, tomorrow, one of our engineers is going in there with another engineer to decide how much of that sidewall that needs to come down that we will act on in 2 weeks. Yeah, I tried to get him, and our acting building official can tell you, I tried to get him in there before today, so I had a report for them today so that we could take action tonight, but he can't do it. He just couldn't do it until tomorrow.
So if I could do a timeline, you probably cannot make a decision unless you have an emergency meeting, A or B, until the next council meeting.
Correct.
Next council meeting is in 2 weeks. At that point, whatever action the council then decides will then have to be voted upon, and bids would have to be brought out to whatever the action would be.
Well, it all depends on what our engineer comes back, because if he says that it needs to be done, then we have the ability to do it right away, like we did with the debris that was on the roof.
Well, that you did very quickly, yes. A letter from the assistant building official said imminent danger. I believe that was the words that the assistant building official's letter has. Imminent, in my reading of any dictionary, means almost immediate. So if it wasn't safe then, how can it be safe now? But it was safe enough to remove the blockages.
No, it does need to be removed, that wall, in order to open up the alleyway in your building. I don't know what it's called, because I don't know the structural meaning, but the brick there does have to be taken off piece by piece. But that wasn't what was eminent. What was eminent was what was on the roof that could blow off.
Well, my observation now is this. I'm paying taxes for two months now, from August 22nd until, say, 2.5 to 3 months until this final resolution. I guarantee it's going to be 3 months. Everyone here who resides in a home and pays taxes on it, if you were not allowed to live in it, but you had to pay taxes through no fault of your own, you'd be a little upset over that. So I'm paying all the required government taxation, but I'm receiving no relief. And according to my property manager, who's in the audience, we've lost 2 or 3 prospective tenants. And the fact is, the Orange and Rockland Utility Company, Orange and Rockland Gas Company, shut off gas for that building as well as mine. Now, what do we do other than, I have the ability to do a lawsuit. I'm not looking for that avenue. What I'm looking for is the city to come to a resolution to do something. And if it means to have an emergency meeting to come to a final resolution to do it, then let's do it.
And Mr. Cooperman, I would entertain that should my engineer come back and tell us what we need to do. I specifically asked him to look at that so that we could clear up the alleyway and get you into your building.
Now, I know this is not a back and forth podium to speak, to expect an answer, but I would appreciate if you could at least initiate a phone call to me after you hear from the engineers.
I surely will.
And at least I know which way to pursue. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, everybody. My name is Joe Malton. I'm on the 3rd Ward. Actually, I'm coming here because I'm baffled about the whole sewer fee thing here. I've been a resident now. I've owned my home 7 years in this town, and I've been paying taxes just like everybody else in this room. You're going to charge a fee for the sewer usage, correct?
Well, it's to repair.
To repair and all of that. Okay, but that same sewer is in my backyard. I'm paying taxes for sewer in my backyard. You understand? I'm paying a tax already on that. Now you're going to charge me a second fee to repair, which, with all due respect, not only is it mine, but my neighbor on the left, my neighbor on the right, and the 4 family behind me. I have no backyard as it is, but even if I were to say, let's say a year or 2 from now, I want to put an in-ground pool in, I can't do it because I've got sewer running all through my property. There's no work to be done at all in my backyard. Physically, I could just mow my lawn and the kids can run around and that's it. I'm a little uptight. I'm watching things going. The town is changing, and some people say it's for the better, and I'm starting to think maybe it's not. There's a lot of empty homes. I felt bad for this woman that sat here. She's a senior. These are the people that lived here while you were growing up. And they're being asked to pay this and to pay that. People that had businesses for years, they're all closing down. I see new ones coming up, and I'm all for it. But, how are we supposed to do this? You're adding this and that. The parking lot fees. These were parking lots that were free to park in because taxpayers were paying for it. Now we're going to get charged a fee to park over there. I got a 2-slot spot in my house to park 2 cars. If I get family that comes up, what am I going to do? We got nowhere to put them. So by all means, we would go to a public parking lot and park our car because we were allowed to. Well, now if we do this, we're going to get towed away. You know, it just seems unfair. I know everybody has to eat, you know, and times are hard for everybody. You know, the small families, the big families, everybody's got problems. But it just seems like the problems are getting pushed further and further onto the few people that are left in here that are paying taxes. You know, I commend the police for what they're doing, but they're not doing it all. You know, there's little things. I mean, my kids' bikes were stolen, my cars were broken into. I've got security cameras on my house, you know, and nothing gets done. You know, I just ask for, you know, some compassion on the fees, you know. I mean, realistically, you know, I mean, what are we going to do? What are you going to do when everybody moves out? You want welfare here? Because that's what's all's going to be left, people renting. You don't want that. You're not going to get all that. We need help. We need a lot more than what we're really getting. You know, not everybody is willing to go in line and ask, give me this, I can't do this. You know, there's a lot of hardworking people in this town, and they're very proud, you know, and I can't speak for everybody. I'm astonished that this is all the people that are here. But I also know that, you know, a lot of people can't get here. My house right now is in shambles. I'm trying to sell my house right now. I'm ripping everything apart, I'm painting, I'm redoing everything to try and sell my home so that me and my 4 kids and my wife might be able to find a cheaper home, less taxes. And I don't want to move, you know. I mean, I didn't want to move in this town in the beginning, but it was a one-shot deal and I took it. You know, and my house was a dump when I moved in. And I've worked my butt off to get it to where it looks like. And I don't want to lose it, but, you know, I got to do what I have to do. You know, and I just feel for the people that can't come up and say something, that can't do anything about it. You know, like the woman said, you know, there's a lot of things she'd like to do. There's a lot of things I'd like to do. And we can't. You know, and I want answers. You know, I
Okay,
really
the simple answer is, and I know I've said this before, I just want to say it again, we are under a court order by the DEC to repair these sewer lines. If we don't, we are fined. That money only comes from one place. The only money that comes from the city coffers comes from the taxpayers, or the little bit that the state or the county gives to us.
So when this fee all goes into effect, we will be reimbursed if something comes into our house? Like the last time, I mean, you know, my house was flooded.
Right, and you did the right thing.
Okay, but let's just say, though, that cost me out of pocket. I didn't get reimbursed for it. You know, I had to dig up my yard. I had to do what I had to do. But, you know, now the next time this happens, because the check valve isn't 100%, you know, if it happens again, what happens? I'm stuck cleaning it up again and footing the bill for it.
We had it here in City Hall also. I mean, it does happen. It doesn't happen to a lot of
Yeah,
people.
but City Hall, my kids aren't living in City Hall.
I understand that.
You know, it's...
But it does happen. And it happens in other municipalities too. And listen, I'd be the last person to tell you that I want to implement these fees. I'm going to talk to the council tonight. I asked for 2 resolutions to be drawn up about a fee reduction, and the one was the parking. Okay? And we're going to discuss it in executive session, and if anybody wants to stay afterwards, hopefully we come out with a reduction. Okay? Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Mayor, all the parking spots aren't going to be by permit.
No, it's during the day. It's free. It's only the 5 months when there is from December 1st to April 1st, when there's no on-street parking at night, and it was brought up to us by a developer and then encouraged by a couple other people who own and rent apartments downtown, that this is what they'd like to see, and that's why we chose to go. Police code chose to go in that direction. And Mr. Siegel, if you want to mention anything about that.
Yeah, the parking lots have always been free. That's true. The reason for the overnight fee or the permit is to provide certain spots for those people that park there all year long in the evening and take up spaces from events that go on downtown, as well as all the people that are now moving into the apartments above the businesses. They need a place to park. If we didn't do this, they would park in the street, and and they would take up parking spaces from the businesses. So what we tried to do, based on the suggestion from Peter Berman, is to make it a law so that his people, whoever else needed a place to park, could park. The gentleman just said he has 2 spots. Well, I have 2 spots too, and when I have family, and they all come, there's 6 or 7 cars. So what I do is I make arrangements with my neighbors, and I park whoever needs to get parked overnight. If it's during the ban, we make those arrangements. Or I would go downtown and find a spot somewhere else. But it's not to hurt anyone, it's to help. We're not going to get businesses in town if we're not able to provide parking for them. And if we allowed all the people in those apartments above the stores to park in these lots, park on the street, we would even have less opportunity to get business. So it's not to hurt the community, it's to help the community.
Thank you. Committee reports. Finance and Insurance, Mr. Bell.
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance Committee met October 23rd here in the council chambers. Highlight the items, some of the items from the meeting. Discussion with the tax lien sale. There were still 156 parcels on the list to be sold for back taxes. We discussed the auditing services, all the ones that had been interviewed, and the one company that we believe was the correct company to hire. We went over the third quarter budget review. Once again, we discussed the overage caused by the excess retirement this year. It ran $200,000 more than the $110,000 we had budgeted. We discussed scheduling for the presentation of the budget to the council. We discussed the account clerk's test. And that concluded the business for the meetings. Some of the bills that we need to pay, from the general and water funds, some of the larger bills, Jacobowitz and Gubitz for legal services, $8,540.53. Global Montello for gasoline, $10,028.65. New York State Health Insurance, $4,319.50. Orange County Landfill, City Garbage and Recycling, $18,296.25. Orange and Rockland Electrical and Gas Services, $25,824.48. From the Capital Fund, Peckham Road Corp., profiling and mobilization of equipment, $17,714. Claw Harbor Associates Engineering Services, $19,686.08. Defender Industries Rescue Boats for the Fire Department, $23,303.78. Totals from the General Fund, $239,990.96. From the Water Fund, $68,222.20. From the Capital Fund, $72,451.35. Total bills, $380,664.51. I make a motion we pay those bills.
I have a motion by Mr. Bell to pay the bills, second by Mr. Ritchie. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
The next meeting of the Finance Committee would fall on Thanksgiving, so we're moving it to the third Tuesday of the month, which is the 18th, for next month's meeting. That will be at 6 p.m. I have a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Port Jervis 2014 budget changes. Whereas the City of Port Jervis Common Council has recognized that the 2014 budget requires amendment to reflect actual activity and necessary expenditures. Whereas it is also recognized that these changes, as per attached and reviewed by the Finance Committee, result in a $146,337 negative impact, and whereas all transactions have been conducted with full knowledge and reporting to the Finance Committee and/or Common Council, It is hereby resolved that the Common Council of the City of Port Jervis authorizes the city clerk treasurer to make the budget